FNB Namibia has introduced a new home loan solution that enables you to buy property with up to 12 applicants. It's called collective buying. Now, the team of My.na Property is here at the FNB headquarters, and we are about to find out how you can be part of this solution. Owning a home is the most desirable thing for all. It acts as your fiscal wealth and your mental security. No cash? No problem, because FNB Namibia is here to make your dreams come true. Joining us right now is Rolandi van Wyk. She is the growth manager for home loans right here at FNB Namibia, and she's going to talk to us about how you and I can acquire our dream property, be it a home, an office, whatever it is that you might want. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Yourself?
I am fantastic. So let's talk about, home loans and lending from the bank. How does it work? Maybe if you can just give us like a nutshell of this whole concept, break it down like in bite-sized information for somebody who might not know what this whole concept is about.
Okay, so purchasing a home is a big commitment, right? And whenever you in that stage of your journey or your life that you want to purchase a home, it is a very tedious process because once you apply for the home loan, you need to be very financially mature in order to meet the affordability standards that commercial banks have set out.
Yeah.
So it's based on affordability, based on what your current stance is. And then we do an assessment to make sure that you can afford the installment of the home loan. And usually it takes up to 40 days until it's done. So from the start, when we start our process, there's an interview that takes place. Your income, expenses, your balance sheet is taken into account. You do the application process. It goes to credit valuations. And then the internal process up until where it registers at the deeds office.
Yeah.
Takes about 40 working days currently.
Awesome stuff. So it's not that long.
Sometimes, but it has so many things that could extend the time.
Oh, okay.
So the customer and the bank and all the other stakeholders need to be on it in order to push that turnaround time.
Okay, so this 40-day is not guaranteed. Okay, let's talk about, from a lending perspective, and this is now the idea or the concept of collective buying, right? How does FNB then assess the credit worthiness of 12 different individuals who are applying for one loan? Is it based on average? Or do me and my 12 friends or cousin have to all qualify? How does it work?
Okay, so collective buying is a solution that we came up with recently. And for the affordability score or the assessment in terms of lending, there is quite a vigorous process, right? Each person gets approved or afforded on their portion of the equity.
Okay.
So it's broken down into bite-sized pieces and you just get scored for your portion of that equity. Meaning that your portion of repayment ability will be calculated in accordance with what the property is valued at, what you applying for in terms of a loan, and then what that installment would be, that would be your portion.
Okay. So then how does the bank manage, the loan security and the registration, seeing that this property is shared among a large group of individuals?
So for as long as I can remember, before I was even in the bank, we've done joint loans, right? It's not a new concept to market.
Yeah.
Where spouses buy together or individuals buy together that have common goals. However, this just allows 12 different people, individuals, to buy together. And the security and the registration takes place the same way that it would in a joint venture.
Okay.
So before you come to us to do the collective buying, you need an watertight agreement between the applicants to make sure that you've thought of everything. That the portion of equity, usually it would be an equal portion of equity amongst everyone. So say for instance you had 5 people applying for a home loan together,
Yeah.
right? Then it would be in equal portions of 20% allocated to each one of you.
Okay.
So security and registration then happens that way. So you are allowed to register multiple people on a deed of sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
So say now I don't want to be in this collective ownership with these cousins and friends or colleagues or my spouse anymore. I now choose to exit, right? Can my part be transferred? Can it be sold? What is the process there
That
about?
depends on the pre-agreement that you
Okay.
and your fellow applicants came up with. So if there should be a clause in the agreement saying that if I want out or if I cannot afford the installment anymore, what then happens? Does it go to a third party? Do we sell it to an extra person which buys into the initiative, or do we take up the ownership amongst the applicants that are there and then absorb that installment or affordability? Obviously, whenever such decisions are made, it's based on an affordability assessment again,
Yeah.
because then the circumstances of the buy changes. So then we'll do an assessment again to make sure that the remaining applicants still qualify for the higher increased installment.
Awesome. So, what are some of the common scenarios you would say, or perhaps to say it better, property types that people are gunning for when it comes to collective buying in Namibia? What are people mostly
So what I'm
interested
seeing,
in?
right,
Yeah.
from a very sales analytical perspective, is families. Most of the Namibian families don't have a family home,
Yeah.
or parents didn't purchase a home while they were still working. Now they are retired. This affords siblings, cousins, family members, extended or near, friends, to purchase a property together. So I would see it more in the family perspective than investment properties. Who wouldn't want a beach house, you know?
Right.
And you maybe can't afford it on your own
Oh.
because you might have a primary property already.
Yeah.
So buying it with friends would make the risk perspective shared. It will also share maintenance costs. You can have smaller installments and then you can come up with an arrangement amongst your friends. The other alternative is student housing.
Yeah.
Us that have children going to university soon. Or in a few years, but soon.
Now that
We need
accommodation is your
to we need to
responsibility.
start thinking about such things.
Yeah.
So parents can now take a shared responsibility, purchase a flat in Windhoek or wherever the children are studying, and then share that responsibility for the children coming to study.
Awesome.
So there are many scenarios. Those are just some of the
Some
basics.
of them. All right, we will be back with more on collective buying. Stick around. All right, now, Rolandi, I've decided, I'm getting into this collective buying with a group of friends. Is there a minimum or maximum amount for the home loan when one is using collective buying? Should I come with, 10K, the other one 50K? I don't know.
No. So with collective buying, it works exactly like a normal home loan would. If you bring in the deed of sale, which is the total amount, purchase price of the property, we would assess your affordability. So everything is linked to affordability. If you can afford 10 million, then please do.
And then I was talking about 10,000. Rolandi is talking about 10 million.
Thinking big.
Awesome stuff. All right, let's talk about some of the benefits for going into collective buying. Maybe you can walk us through each and every one of them, even when another member of the property passes on, what happens then?
Okay. So we have many benefits structured under collective buying. Obviously, this makes it more affordable for the end user. Obviously, a shared risk responsibility and shared installment responsibility, meaning that more people would afford to purchase a property,
Yeah.
right? In addition to that, the shared maintenance cost. We've learned through our property buyers series how expensive it is to own a home, not only for the installments, but also for your maintenance cost, your insurance cost, and all of that. The best benefit that we could put in here is obviously incentivize interest rates.
Yeah.
So reduced interest rates on application, and then also any bond that is less than 1.1 million, yeah, has no transfer duty or stamp duty costs attached to that. So
Okay.
that's an awesome benefit, which I don't think is currently in the market.
All right. What?
Oh, in addition to that, sorry for stopping you, we also have a free last will and testament. So all of the applicants can apply for a last will and testament, and it will be free of cost to them. So it's
Okay.
included in our package price because we want people to look at what happens after the fact, right? Making sure or making provision for when you're no longer here is very important to us.
Yeah.
And we want the applicants to know that we also invested in this transaction.
So then, how do you handle disputes between this group of people who are buying together, should any arise?
So obviously we are, as a bank, we come with advisory services, right? However, disputes within the buying transaction, whenever you come in with your agreement, we would make sure that there are scenarios in an addendum that makes provision for different types of disputes that you might have. Unfortunately, that is a thing that you and your fellow applicants should sort out before you decide to take this big step, because it is a trust relationship and it is
Yes.
a trust agreement. So it needs to be in your agreement. You need to think about all the different scenarios.
Awesome stuff. And then, what documentation and due diligence is required for all parties that are involved in this collective buying process?
Okay, so from a documentation perspective, obviously the normal mundane things,
Yeah.
IDs, payslips of all the applicants. If you are married within community of property or outside, we need your marriage certificate. If you're married within community of property, obviously there would be something that your spouse needs to sign. If it's with an antenuptial contract, we need that contract as well. If you are in the unfortunate event that you have decided or that you have divorced, we need the divorce order. And then if you are employed and you get a subsidy, unfortunately, government employee schemes is not allowed to apply for collective buying on
Oh.
this scheme amount.
Okay.
However, they can do it in their personal capacity.
Okay.
So the qualification letter from employer, latest pay slip. If you are commission based or you have constant overtime, we need a 6-month view. If you are not banking at FNB, we can also assist you. But then you need a 6-month statement also attached to that. And then obviously we complete documents on our side that our friendly consultants will take you through. If you are a self-employed person, then different documents are needed, but it's all on our website and all on the collective buying flyers that are everywhere on social media.
Okay, just while we are talking about, a government home scheme, so it's possible for me to be paying for, let's say, my house with the scheme, and then I can join collective buying with, cash from elsewhere.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. The thing is that collective buying, because it's shared ownership, the government scheme does not make provision for that within the scheme.
Okay.
Yeah. So you won't get a subsidy amount from government when you enter into collective buying.
Oh, okay. Now it's clear. All right, Rolandi, I love a good special. I love a good promotion. So are there any incentives, maybe interest incentives, special promotions that are currently tied to this collective home loan buying?
Yeah, I did mention in the prior question that we have competitive interest rates, right? We always look at ways and means of making it more enticing for the end user.
Yeah.
So obviously interest rates, and then we also have a few promotions running. However, you'll see much more partnership agreements coming from this. So a lot to look out for in the near future.
Awesome stuff. Do you offer then financial literacy or onboarding support to groups that are interested in this collective buying? Just maybe people don't really have a broad understanding. Maybe do you offer them that?
So, from a sales perspective, we are doing so much in the market there, being visible, trying to get out there. We're doing presentations at workplaces, obviously highlighting our core product features, but also speaking to collective buying. As FNB Namibia, we have gone on this financial literacy journey
Yeah.
where we are giving financial literacy classes or master classes to business places and their employees. So our financial literacy team is very, very active in the market. And obviously collective buying would be one of the features that they would throw in there.
Awesome stuff, Rolandi. Thank you so much for taking out time to disseminate this information on our platform, My.na Property. Please wish me luck as I try to convince a couple of people to join collective buying with me.
If you can't, you can send them to me.
Awesome stuff. We will be right back. Please stick around. Joining us right now is broadcasting and communication extraordinaire. Her name is Kirsty Watermere, and she is here to talk to us about, the collective buying, home loan buying right here at FNB. Right now, she serves as communications manager, and I'm just super, super excited to be talking to a fellow broadcaster. How are you doing?
I'm great, and I'm super excited to be talking to you too.
Thank you so much. All right, so talk to us about what motivated FNB Namibia to introduce collective buying products at this particular time.
Absolutely. So it's a really exciting product, and we're very proud of it. It's a first for the Namibian market, and it's part of FNB Namibia forms part of the First Rand Group, and part of our collective ethos is to help build a globally competitive Namibia.
Yeah.
So we're always looking for places and ways in which we can support the market, in which we can support Namibians, because it's about when Namibians are rising, we are all rising. And we want to be part of the journey for Namibians. So our wonderful home loans department were very hard at work to find out how can they support, what solutions can we take to market to really help Namibians with that extra step up. And obviously, as you've heard from Rolandi, there are wonderful ways in which this can be done. Perhaps you and your friends want to invest in a business, perhaps a bed and breakfast. Perhaps your siblings want to purchase a home for your parents. And this enables you to do so many more things. This is a wonderful product, but it's also built on the back of the fact that we know that home ownership extends beyond psychological benefits. It includes things like safety and security. And these benefits cannot be overstated. And for so many Namibians, home ownership is not even an option.
Yes.
And this is while we are going to hopefully be helping people to extend their life and extend their wealth through perhaps a business or looking after their parents, as I mentioned. But hopefully as well, we can help in some way to reduce income inequality, because home ownerships, it's about participating in the market. It helps individuals to build wealth through capital appreciation, and that capital appreciation outperforms inflation in the long term. So that's a way in which we can help with wealth creation in the long term. And obviously, as Rolandi said, there are many different terms and conditions, but the terms and conditions are very important because we're not about to give loans to everybody in a way that's going to put them into financial stress.
Yes.
Because any loan can be part of growing your life if done correctly. But just having a loan does not mean that you are safe, because that loan needs to be repaid. So we will always do the due diligence to make sure that we are giving loans in a space and a place in which people can, at the end of the day, repay those loans, because we don't want to put them into financial difficulty. But if done correctly, with the right advice, this product has got the opportunity to really help Namibians in their lives.
Awesome stuff. So, Kirsty, talk to us about some of the awareness around co-ownership responsibility for first-time buyers using this model. What is FNB doing to really ensure that, as you have mentioned, people are not taking on a financial burden, but rather a solution?
Well, these are also models that we use for any loan application. We have very strict due diligences and protocols that need to be followed in order for us to give a loan. And we do that while there can sometimes be frustrations around the time that it takes, or even a decline. But at the end of the day, we don't ever want to put any of our customers in a financial situation that they can't get out of, because that is worse for us than the initial frustrations. So part of the awareness, part of the back end that's happening is this making sure, doing our due diligence, that we are supporting you in affordability and educating you in the process as to what you need to do. But part of the awareness, we've got a massive, robust rollout plan for awareness.
Nice.
You'll see us on social media. If you're not on our pages, why not? So follow our pages. There's a lot of information going out there. There'll be brochures in our branches. We have a full team of consultants that are available to answer your questions. So please do get in touch. We're happy to answer any specific question that you have. But as part of that, as it always in all of our campaigns, we always look to how to empower our audiences through financial literacy, through education, through helping you to understand why things play out in a certain way. So beyond the benefits, we also see it as part of our mandate to help really upskill Namibians when it comes to their finances, because when you're in control of your finances, you really are in control of your life. And that gives you freedom to be able to continue your life. We all know when we're sitting with financial burdens, we can't think about anything else, right?
Yes. It's such a stressful moment.
It's such a stressful moment. And there are ways in which we can support you on your journey so that you're not in that financial stress. And that we're hoping that this product is going to be part of really empowering our market to take them further. And we will do it in a responsible manner, educating our markets every step of the way.
Awesome stuff. Kirsty, I want to talk about, you make mention of social media, and as a communication specialist, I understand that you know the correlation between new age media, which is digital marketing, and marketing any kind of product. So my question is, are you looking at perhaps using local influencers to market this product for you? Because it's evident that nowadays, people listen to peers who think like them, who do stuff like them, and these people are usually influencers. Is FNB perhaps incorporating, influencers into the marketing of this collective buying?
Absolutely, because the points that you raised are 100% true. And media has evolved, and the way in which we consume our media and how we get information has evolved. I recently heard an interesting comment where somebody was saying people go into the comment section for vibe checking, and depending on the vibe, they'll decide whether they like the product or not.
Yes.
What is everybody else saying about it? And so it's a really important role that we see that we need to fulfill, because so often is the case, what's happening in the comment section is a misunderstanding where people don't understand what and why things are done in a certain way. And me personally, that keeps me up at night, because if we don't understand why things are done in a certain way, then we're not empowered to make the right financial choices or decisions in our life. And so it's really important that we weave, and this is what we're trying to do, education into everything we're doing. I am about to roll out a huge lending campaign that is all about education with influencers.
Nice.
So where we've teamed up with a bunch of wonderful Namibian influencers, and we took them through a process of educating them around lending, and then they are going to share that that information with Namibians.
Yeah.
Because it really is about, there's so many things, even myself in joining in this position, that I have learned about finances that I didn't know before. And the more we know, the more empowered we are
Yes.
to make better choices for our life and yeah, for our finances.
Awesome stuff. Kirsty, thank you so much for joining us on My.na Property. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you as well. Thank you very much for having me and for allowing us this platform to share this story. Thank you to our viewers as well. Please do reach out if you've got any questions, if you need to know anything further. And as I said, follow our social media pages and obviously all of our wonderful media partners' social media pages as well for more information.
All right, and that's how you link out. What more can I say? It's time for us to say our goodbyes because all good things must come to an end. My name is Aina Raizakoya. This has been another exciting edition of My.na Property. We'll see you next week, same time at a different spot with the same enthusiasm for property.